Listen to Monty Lee on his sweep of the Liberty team this weekend.
Really proud of our team this weekend. Come up with a really good Liberty Ball Club opening weekend, just to be able to pitch as consistently as we were able to pitch this weekend. Really proud of our pitching staff, and offensively felt like we really competed today. Found a way to score 6 runs in the third. Henderson hit a big double. Kier with a single. Parker, put together a great at bat to draw the walk, to load the bases, to get it to Hackenberg. And Hag did a great job of just using the whole field. Hit a hard single into right center field to score 2 runs. In the fifth, Parker with 2 strikes on him, a single with 2 outs, stole a base, and then Hackenberg again delivered with a 2-out single RBI. And in the sixth, again, another big 2-out single RBI. Mac Starbuck with a big 2-out double, and Elijah Henderson came up and smoked the ball at the middle. So back-to-back innings there in the fifth and sixth with some clutch 2-out hits. Parker, added another run there in the seventh with a home run, and then in the eighth we did a nice job of manufacturing a run. T.O. led the inning off with a double. Mac again, just continues to do a lot of things really well for us on the offensive side of the baseball and defensive side. Got a bunt down and moved T.O. over to third, and then Henderson just got just enough of it to get a sac fly to center field, and Teodosio used his speed to be able to score that run. And then again, how awesome was it to see, 2 guys pitch for us today that didn't get a chance to pitch for us last year due to injury. I don't know if I've seen 2 guys work as hard as Spencer Strider and Carter Radfield have to get back to this point to be ready for the season. Just says a lot about those 2 guys. Spencer went out there today, first time he's towed the rubber in quite some time, and throws 3 innings, a shutout, only 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. And then Carter came in, got a clean inning of work, threw an inning, struck out 2, and Jeffrey Gilbert was outstanding again for us in the 8th, threw an inning, struck out 2, and Spires was Spires. It was just a great job of pitching again today. We struck out 13 and only walked 2, and offensively felt like we put together a good game plan. Had 1 opportunity to score another run there with a runner at third and less than 2 outs, and came up empty in the inning where we scored 2. Had a chance to put together a big inning. But overall, I really like the way we competed today. We talked about that before the game. It would have been really easy after winning the series on Saturday to just kind of relax and play today. And just the mentality and the approach and the competitiveness of our ball club really showed today. And the energy in the dugout today was better than it was on Friday and Saturday. So I was really proud of our team just finishing the weekend and just understanding the importance of every game and how important they are. So played our best baseball game, the 3rd game of the series, and just says a lot about the leadership of our team, the character of our team, the toughness of our team, and just proud of the guys and how they competed.
Again, that was head ball coach Monty Lee talking about the win, or the sweep this weekend against Liberty. Al, he's talking about got good hitting, clutch hitting, and great pitching. What more could you ask for?
Yeah, the pitching was great this weekend. Obviously, they beat a Liberty team who was a tournament team last year, has a good chance to be this year as well. And we talked about last week, at least when I was giving that brief preview of the baseball week opening weekend, how good their pitching was. And they were a good pitching team for sure. Clemson did a great job. Obviously, Clemson's pitching was fantastic. It really looks like we have finally put the pitching part together. Here we got Houston gets in again and says we actually might have a very deep, very good, dare I say, special group of pitchers this year. He's cautiously optimistic, and I have to agree. It kind of finally looks like we've got the pitching depth that it takes to make a run at this thing. Now, obviously, I think the big question is for this season has been the hitting, and that's been kind of it from day one. Who's going to provide the power? You lost so much from last year. You lost a Michael Green, and heck, we just lost a Jonathan French, who was supposed to be a good offensive player as well before the season started. So it's gonna be an interesting season. But again, the pitching was great this weekend. They had 5 total runs in 3 games, which is fantastic. Nick Clayton with a huge 8th inning on Saturday to help the Tigers survive that 1-0 game. He had second and third, no outs. He was able to get a couple strikeouts and get out of that inning. So that was a huge, huge win for the Tigers. And, I was really impressed with some of the bats. One thing I noticed this weekend, and I didn't look at any stats, I didn't look at the final strikeout total or anything like that, but it seemed to me that the Tigers were striking out a lot less than they usually do, which is something we kind of talked about. We rely on the long ball. Monty Lee's philosophy for a long time has been relying on the long ball and things like that. So it was nice to see him, I don't want to say playing small ball, but I think they're going to have to a certain extent. It's nice to see him staying in there, staying on top of things, making contact, making the defense try to make a play. Elijah Henderson had a great weekend. Adam Hackenberg, Kier Meredith, James Parker, they kind of led the way when it came to hitting. They had 22 hits between the four of them. Parker and Hall were able to hit a long ball, which is nice to see. Everybody was wanting to know who's going to provide the power. And it's not to say that these guys are necessarily going to do that for the rest of the season, but it was nice to be able to see that it can still be done with the lineup we have. So looking forward to Clemson baseball. You know how much I love it. And hopefully they can get things going and get the midweeks behind them here soon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a guy who, I will tell you, I'm not the host that knows the most about Clemson baseball, that's for sure. But I'm learning. I'm trying to familiarize myself with the team, and it's great to know that this team has got some pitching that they can count on. I mean, Davis Sharp is a guy you probably could count on last year too, and is going to be really strong this year. At least he's starting off really well. Carson Spires, Spencer Strider, like you said, Jeffrey Gilbert. I mean, those guys, I believe they're just zeros across the board for their ERA right now. Yeah. Sam Weatherly has 8 strikeouts, which, I mean, he's throwing some flame right there. And then I looked at this. Of those guys, 54 batters faced this weekend, and no runs out of those 54. I mean, that's pretty cool to see that many guys just not be able to turn anything into any runs, especially like you said, a team that was last year a tournament team. And I think it's good news for the Tigers for sure. I know anytime I talk to Jason Priester, I talk to you, it's always about pitching. I mean, pitching is the big deal. And there were some mistakes made, I believe, last year. Man, some things are just kind of popping in my head about things we talked about last year with a pitcher. Remember what was the deal where the pitcher wasn't Lee didn't Lee put him out there on the wrong day or something, or too early or something. I don't know. But either way, it's one of those things where when you get into the postseason, you need that guy that can just dominate the weekend, and that you can count on. And then you also need some hitting too. You can't neglect that. But you got Hackenberg 462 right now average, Henderson a 545 average, and both of them have between them 7 RBIs. Meredith 455 average. Parker's got I believe a 1 home run and 385, and then Starbuck. I noticed that Monty Lee talked a lot about Max Starbuck, and that he really hadn't had that many hits, but the 2 hits he has had have been very clutch and come in the right moments. Specific, I believe, even got a double right when they needed it. So it looks like the Clemson baseball is at least starting off good, along with Clemson softball team.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, again, it was one of those things. It's great to get a sweep no matter who you're playing, for sure. I mean, Clemson has not swept opening weekend a lot in the past, regardless of who they're playing. I kind of got, flashbacks to some old Clemson teams. It was funny. I was watching on Saturday, I believe it was, and I think it was 0-0, and somebody got a clutch hit to kind of score the runner. The runner comes around third. I'm like, oh, he's scoring for sure. There's not even going to be a throw. So they throw to third, and the next thing you know, we find out Dylan Brewer, I believe it was, fell down coming around third. And had he gotten up and ran home, he didn't realize the throw went to third and not home. He would have made it home, but he gets up, tries to go back to third. Unfortunately, there was a runner on first that had rounded second and was already going to third. So when he tried to go back, it did not work out well. And I'm thinking, no, not again, not this kind of stuff. Okay. But again, we got a clutch win there, 1-0. Had some great pitching at the end there as well. So you you take the win any way you can get it, obviously. So they have some mistakes they're going to have to clean up and things like that. But overall, I thought I was very impressed. I was very happy with a sweep, and I think Clemson's headed in the right direction.
Carson's saying if they can keep this up, they could finally make it back to the Supers, because they've got some depth of pitching that they haven't had in quite some time. And I think we both agree with that.